It was 5:43 a.m. on a crisp October morning in 2024 when I stumbled into the quiet of my driveway, coffee mug in hand, still shaking off sleep. The air was cool, the sky just starting to blush with dawn. Then I saw Ida rusted padlock clamped onto my electric vehicle charger, its crooked hasp drilled sloppily into the side panel. A laminated sign, taped with garish purple duct tape, screamed in Comic Sans, reserved by HOA order, property of Meadowview Estates. Smudges of glittery nail polish framed the edges, and the charger's paint was scratched, screws bent. This wasn't a prank. This was vandalism, and I knew exactly who was behind it. Susan, the HOA's self-crowned dictator. Susan was a force of nature, the kind who wielded a clipboard like a scepter and patrolled our quiet cul-de-sac in Oak Ridge Hills with the zeal of a prison warden. Her lawn had a no stepping on grass sign. Her mailbox buzzed her phone every time it opened. She once fined a neighbor for a too festive holiday wreath. When she bought a plug-in hybrid last summer and couldn't get HOA approval for her own charger, she didn't negotiate. She targeted Minnesota-permitted, privately install my property. Rage simmered as I crouched to inspect the damage. Gouged metal, greasy fingerprints, a cover barely hanging on. I half expected Susan to leap out with a smug grin. She didn't. Inside, I pulled up my security footage. At 2:47 a.m., there she was sneaking across my lawn in an oversized tracksuit, lugging a bag of tools. Her 5-year-old trailed behind, clutching a flashlight and wearing a baseball cap backward. Susan attacked my charger with a dollar store drill, pausing to hand her kid a granola bar. It was absurd, like a heist plan by a sleep-deprived PDA mom. I watched the clip 3 times, my jaw tight. The HOA was useless last year. They shrugged when Susan installed a motion-activated sprinkler that soaked kids on the sidewalk, claiming it protected the roses. Still, I tried. I emailed, called, and stormed their office with footage and my permit. The receptionist blinked at the video. It's still usable, right? I asked if they endorsed residents locking private property. She mumbled about an emergency power-sharing bylaw Susan had cited. No one had approved it, but no one had stopped her either. Classic HOA logic. Sleep didn't come that night. Susan's smirk haunted me, the one she flashed when she bent rules to her will. I'm a robotics engineer. My job is building security systems for industrial complexes. If Susan wanted to play dirty, I'd play smarter. Over 2 days, I crafted a decoy charger shell rigged with a motion-activated paint sprayer. Neon green, eco-friendly, washable only after a dozen scrubs, it glowed under UV light, a prototype from a warehouse anti-theft project. I built it in my garage, narrating each step for legal cover. I swapped the real charger to my backyard, left Susan's lock on the decoy, and waited. For 2 nights, nothing. On the 3rd, at 3:01 a.m., my phone pinged. Susan was back, thermos in hand, kid asleep in a stroller. She fumbled with the lock, and whoosh, the sprayer doused her in glowing green. She screamed, slipped on her flip-flops, and crashed into the grass, a neon mess. The footage was cinematic. Susan, dripping paint, flailing like a cartoon villain. I saved it to the cloud, called the cops, and watched from my window as they arrived. Susan ranted about sabotage, but the officer cut her off. You can't drill into someone's property at 3 a.m., ma'am. She stomped off, glowing under streetlights. I thought that might end it, but Susan wasn't one to retreat. By 9:15 a.m., an HOA email landed, accusing me of hazardous mechanical traps and threatening a $1,500 fine plus a voting rights suspension. They attached a blurry photo of Susan's paint-soaked face, as if I'd committed a felony. I forwarded it to my lawyer friend, Rachel, who'd been itching to dismantle an HOA since law school. She called livid. She's on video, trespassing and damaging your property. This is their overreach, not your crime. Rachel begged to take the case. I didn't hesitate. While Rachel drafted a legal response, I upgraded the decoy. This time, I added a retractable nozzle, dual motion sensors, and a glitter-infused paint mix that sparkled like a disco ball under blacklight. I wasn't just protecting my charger, I was sending a message. That afternoon, Susan's husband, Greg, knocked on my door, looking like he'd aged a decade. He handed me a folder of texts and voice memos, including Susan coaching her kid to lie about my permission. Greg was done, filing for divorce after she dragged their son into her schemes. I sent the folder to Rachel, who cackled. "We're not just defending you. We're suing." Rachel's cease and desist letter, packed with footage and bylaws, forced the HOA to retract the fine within a day. Neighbors started whispering, "Charge her, Susan," and sharing memes of her glowing face. I thought it was over until midnight when my sensors pinged again. Susan, now in gloves and a headlamp, wielded a crowbar, prying at the decoy. The glitter bomb fired, coating her in sparkling chaos. She didn't scream this time, just froze, then roared, a primal sound of defeat. She tripped into a shrub as my neighbor, Tom, filmed, narrating like a wildlife documentary. Cops arrived, and Susan's meltdown was public. The next morning, Tom's video, Susan vs. The Glitter Trap, went viral locally, racking up 3,000 views. The HOA sent another letter, claiming I'd caused bodily harm. Rachel countered with a lawsuit draft, but the real shock came when she connected me to Agent Carter, a federal investigator. My decoy used a prototype under restricted testing, and Susan's crowbar stunt flagged as tampering with regulated tech. Carter's team arrived, photographed the scene, and issued Susan a restraining order. Her house went silent, curtains drawn, car gone. Then Greg dropped a bombshell, a box of flash drives and notes revealing Susan's obsession. She'd spied on neighbors, photographed packages, and mapped schedules. It wasn't just petty, it was chilling. Rachel leaked select files to a community page, and the backlash was swift. Neighbors shunned Susan. Someone graffitied, "We see you," on her driveway. Greg won custody, and Susan's lawyer sent a weak defamation claim. Rachel laughed it off, ready to bury it. At an emergency HOA meeting, I played Susan's footage, her whispering sabotage plans, her kid nearby. The room went quiet. The board banned her for life, apologized to me, and vowed to reform. I hosted a neighborhood recharge barbecue, offering free EV charging and ribs. As dusk fell, I flipped on a UV light, revealing Susan's paint stains glowing faintly on my driveway. I unveiled a new sign, reserved for those who respect boundaries, with her lock encased in resin. Neighbors cheered, calling it legendary. Sitting on my porch that night, stars above, I felt peace. Susan's house at the market, unsold. The neighborhood exhaled, stronger, united. A cat waddled across my lawn, and I smiled. It could have the charger. Susan never would. What do you think? Did I go too far? Or was Susan's punishment fair? Should HOAs be abolished, or can they be fixed? Was the glitter bomb genius or overkill? Comment below, like, and subscribe for more wild tales.